Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about a case that I don't think has gotten enough attention from what I've noticed. I had two friends, funnily enough, such a weird coincidence, who don't know each other, who both told me about this case. I'm kind of honestly in shock that there isn't more news about this. So today we're going to be talking about the case of Abby Choi. Now I want to be very clear, I looked at multiple articles about this and most of them aren't particularly descriptive, which makes me slightly nervous, not because I need to know the details of things, but I like to see stories that align so I can confirm, okay, all of these news sources found the same thing. Here, a lot of it is still vague, so I'm treading lightly with how factual everything is because so much is really unknown to us at this point. Woman is latest to be arrested in murder of Hong Kong model Abby Choi. Don't worry, there's context here. I'm not just going to throw you into the middle of a whole thing. Hong Kong police have arrested a seventh suspect in the gruesome murder of 28-year-old socialite and influencer Abby Choi, whose dismembered body was found in large pots of soup. On Tuesday, police arrested a 29-year-old woman surnamed Pun for assisting Lam Shun, an employee of a yacht rental company, and Alex Kwong, Choi's ex-husband, to escape the city by sea. That entire sentence is a mouthful. Alex Kwong, he's the ex-husband of Choi, and he was trying to escape by sea. Pun, who is reportedly a friend of Kwong, allegedly helped arrange a boat to aid his escape before fleeing to mainland China. She was arrested at the Shenzhen Bay port by Hong Kong authorities and charged with one count of assisting an offender. Pun is the third person to be arrested for aiding and abetting an offender in relation to Choi's murder case. Last week, Lam was arrested and charged with the same offense for helping Kwong flee Hong Kong by sea for a reward of 300,000 Hong Kong dollars, which is approximately $38,000 US. On Monday, the Kowloon City Magistrates Court granted Lam a cash bail of 50,000 Hong Kong dollars after appearing in court. He's prohibited from leaving Hong Kong and is required to report to the Tsingyi police station 2 times a week. On February 27th, Kwong, along with his brother and father, Anthony Kwong and Kwong Kao, was charged with the murder of Choi. Kwong's mother, Jenny Lee, was also charged with perverting the course of justice. All 4 defendants were detained without bail. Of all of this, I think the most shocking thing is how many people are involved to some extent as far as we know right now. We don't know much, but even just the fact that in the title, woman is latest to be arrested, and there are, I think, 7 people in total right now that are being looked into. The fact that there's so many people involved is insane to me. Now, it's obviously not the first time in history that this is ever happening, but the majority of cases that I've read about, at least in the recent past, typically don't involve this many people. So that alone is very strange to me. I'm not drawing any conclusions based on that aside from it's strange. I can't wrap my brain around the probability of finding this many people who basically are helping you get away with murder. I'm just gonna put it that way. Kwong Kao's mistress was the 5th suspect arrested on suspicion of hiding Kwong. She was released on bail without charge. Choi disappeared on February 21st and was last seen via CCTV footage in Tai Po district. Parts of her dismembered body were found in 2 large stainless steel pots of soup in a freezer at a village house in Lung Mei Tsuen. Choi's torso and hands are still missing. The investigation remains ongoing. The model, who shared a daughter and a son with Kwong, was involved in financial dispute with his family, which police believe was the motive for her murder. All suspects involved in the case are expected to return to Kowloon City Court on May 8th. I think what makes this an extra level of surreal, and it shouldn't be this way, let me preface, it should not be this way, but this is a person with a big following and still it feels like no one's talking about this. I don't know if it's maybe because not much is out there yet, so a lot of news stations maybe are waiting, but I hadn't heard anything, and I follow so many accounts, so I'm just very confused at the fact that this isn't big news. Also because a lot of the times when it does make big news, people do come forward lying, granted, but Hopefully there is a level of more understanding because more people come forward, more people have information they can share that might be pertinent. I don't know, something. Okay, so we briefly mentioned finances here. Now, another part of this entire story, which might help to contextualize things, is that Choi lived in what I understand to be a 3-story luxury apartment worth millions upon millions of dollars. Apparently, the family, her mother, and as well as the family of her ex-husband, seem to be fighting over this place. Now, it's still unclear to me what's going on because even right now I'm looking at my phone and there are articles that have claims that are contradictory, so I really don't know what's what. One thing says that Abby Choi's mother has filed a petition to prevent the sale of this property. The next article says that the property was sold. So I don't know what the fuck is going on there. I'm also confused at this apartment being sold so quickly. Now, granted, I don't know how quickly forensic police works, but you'd think that there would be more time to kind of see her place generally. I mean, even if they've already done their initial cleaning up and, you know, collecting of evidence, I feel like it's not been that long and you'd still want to keep the place untouched in case. I don't know, is that weird? Maybe I'm misreading that, but she disappeared, if I'm not mistaken, February 21st. It's the beginning of March. It's not been that long. I don't know, maybe the due process is faster than I think, but I already think that's a little bit strange. I also understand that some people don't really care about what happened in a house because the reality is a house, an apartment, whatever, unless it's brand new, something horrible might have happened there, and that's a reality that is extremely grim to think about. Something that happened so recently, we don't know if it happened in her apartment that she got murdered. We don't know anything. But again, I don't know how comfortable I would be with buying a property like that with that kind of so recent history. I'm weirded out by a lot of things here, and maybe it's just me. Anyway, that's all that's really out there right now. I truly hope that, not for our sake, obviously, but for the sake of the family, that some clarity comes along, and more than anything, as we well know, justice for whoever fucking did this, because the idea that some of her body parts aren't even found not only enrages me, but disturbs me deeply, because, listen, no murder is acceptable, so I'm not trying to say this is premeditated so it makes it worse than other murders, because murder is murder. That being said, this sounds a little strategic to me. Like, the idea of chopping someone up and putting them in all these different places is by no means a brand new idea. It's happened before. We've seen so many movies even just with that as a center focus, but you know, it really begs a lot of questions of even just the organization of all of this. You know, it's not the type of murder where someone just fucking got angry and got violent and that happened. It's a thing of, okay, well, if we were to dispose of a body, how would we do it? Where would we chop her? How would we chop her? Do we have the tools to chop someone up? Where are we going to put those pieces once we're done? How are we going to discard them? How far away? Who's going to take? Do you see how many questions I'm coming up with right off the top of my head without having thought logistically about how I would dispose of a body? That too makes me ask the question of how long was this in the works? Because aside from all the logistics, the act of killing someone alone obviously is extreme, but the act of not just killing someone, but chopping them up into pieces, to me says anger, frustration. Like, it says a lot, like a strong feeling to go to that length, because it's not even quote unquote an easy way. You're not shooting someone and then you're done. You're not doing something and leaving like the way you would do something if you just want to get it over with, right? This is thought out. And that's what I think is one of the most disturbing aspects of all of this, right? That you kind of made a plan of what to do with someone's remains. You guys can let me know what you think in the comments down below. Truly, I just hope her family gets closure on all of this, or whoever isn't to blame here, because truly it seems like basically the closest people to her quote unquote family, doesn't have to be close, but you know what I mean, were the ones to blame. So I just hope that whoever was actually there for her as a person, friend, whatever, gets a level of closure, of peace, however that may happen. But I'm so just aghast. I feel like I don't even know what words to use, but anyway, you guys can let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons as always, and I'll catch you guys next time.